May has the planet of love and attraction Venus and the planet of desire and action Mars in their home signs of Taurus and Aries, making this the perfect month to attract your spring romance. Let's talk love in May 2024. My name is Anastasia. I'm a traditional Western astrologer specializing in natal, relationship, and predictive readings. If you like my content and enjoy my work, please take a few seconds to show your support by leaving a like or a comment, subscribing, and pressing the notification bell. I appreciate that. It helps YouTube algorithm show my content to more people, helps me grow. You also have the option to say thank you by buying me a coffee or a tea or a croissant. I really appreciate you guys doing that. Before we dive in, if you ever have questions, if you want to understand yourself better, have me take a look at your natal chart. You can book a reading on my website, anastasiadoesastrology.com. There's multiple reading options such as natal, year ahead, solar return, best done around your birthday. There are different lengths and durations, something perfect for everyone. On my website, you can also find my astrological creations, since we are talking about love. My favorite candles for love are Venus in Libra and Exalted Venus or Venus in Pisces. Venus in Libra was created with Venus in the sign of rulership, Libra, highlighting the powerful ability of Venus to glue things together, bring people into your life, manifest love, manifest creativity, connection, inspiration. This is perfect for anyone born with their ascendant or natal Venus in air or fire signs, and those are Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, Aquarius, Gemini, or Libra. If you're born with Venus in Libra, you already have this, but this is a stronger Venus, so you might enjoy it too. A great remedy for anyone born with their Venus in Virgo, Aries, or Scorpio. Venus in the 6th, 8th, or 12th houses, or Venus in a square or opposition, even conjunction to Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, or Pluto. Exalted Venus highlights Venus in Pisces. So this is great for anyone born with their ascendant or natal Venus in a water or earth sign. Once again, if your Venus is in a weaker position, such as Virgo, Scorpio, or Aries, and if it's placed in a dark house, 6th, 8th, or 12th, making difficult aspects, this could be a lovely choice for you. In general, you know, when you're feeling stressed, overwhelmed, when you're disagreeing in your relationship, if you want to come to an agreement, compromise, etc., this is a great choice. So check out my website for that. So in this video, we're talking about love in May. I am excited about May. We are coming out of the stressful eclipse season. Mercury retrograde wasn't helping in terms of communication. Some people have reconnected with their exes, hoping to give the old relationship another try. Let me know how it went for you. Have you heard from your exes? Have you given an old relationship another shot? What I love about May is that we have Venus, the planet of connection, in her home sign of Taurus, and we have Mars, the planet of action and desire, in his home sign of Aries. So we have this interesting balance of yin, feminine, Taurian energy, slow and steady wins the race, but also active, cardinal, go-getter, quick Aries. So you're both sensual and romantic and slow and steady and focused on commitment and longevity, but you have the courage that is required to get things started. So I like it. I like that aspect. So I'm going to give you some important dates just to keep in mind for the month coming up. And then we'll dive into each rising sign to talk about potential energy that you might experience. So in the beginning of the month, on the 1st, you start feeling it 3 days before, 3 days after. Venus will square Pluto. And this is interesting because Venus goes through a bit of a journey this month. She starts off squaring Pluto, which is, to me, a sign of some kind of tensions, maybe a little bit of drama, maybe power struggles in relationships, secrets coming to light. This continues on May 17th when Mercury squares Pluto. So the themes that maybe around the start of the month, you have a bit of a hunch about something, you have an inkling, you have some kind of obsessive thought or feeling or some kind of tension in your relationship. And then in the middle of the month, when Mercury squares Pluto, you have a conversation about it. You bring things out in the open. You address the tension. And then Venus goes on to conjoin Uranus on May 18th, which is exciting because it's a fresh perspective. After you've aired out the dirty laundry, discovered some secrets, had important conversations. It doesn't have to be a secret or drama in that regard, but anything, you know, surrounding your fears or your vulnerabilities, being honest, that sometimes can be quite dramatic internally, because if you're expressing how you feel, it's not always easy. But I do like that on the 18th of May, Venus conjoins Uranus, which is, like I said, opportunity for fresh start, new beginnings, maybe new exciting attractions, connections. We also have Venus aspecting Saturn on May 13th, which can help solidify an existing relationship or encourage you to choose partners that are more loyal, stable, maybe older than you, people who are in position of power, authority, or just people who have like the wisdom that perhaps your soul requires. So a little bit of stress, but then kind of calming things down, exploring fresh perspectives. On May 23rd, Venus will conjoin Jupiter, give it a few days before, 3 days before, 3 days after. And that is like the party of life, joyful, abundant, opportune time when the wine is running. There's rivers of wine, there is lots of grapes, and there's lots of party people around. But that Venus-Jupiter conjunction on the 23rd, Venus will also sextile Neptune on the 23rd, just beautiful for abundance, beautiful for relationships, potentially some kind of new beginning, new cycle. But there's always with Venus and Jupiter, there's a bit of a danger of like letting opportunities pass you by just because you're feeling so good and joyous. And if, let's say, something doesn't go your way, you encounter a simple annoyance, a roadblock, you're more willing to be like, no, this is not worth it. I'm just choosing joy and partying and having fun. So it might be interesting to kind of be aware of that, be mindful of that. Some other things that are worth mentioning this month: Pluto goes retrograde in the sign of Aquarius on May 2nd, and until October 11th, we will be dealing with shadows of power. So even though this month is exciting for new beginnings, it's also, I think, important for personal transformation and for maybe figuring out what is important for you in relationships and how can you better reach it. How can being vulnerable, being honest, being unafraid can be a source of connection in this environment. So Pluto going retrograde is especially important for Leo and Cancer risings. For Leo risings, because Pluto in Aquarius is their 7th house. For Cancer risings, because Pluto will dip into Capricorn, going back into your 7th house. But that's not until September. We'll talk about that when we get there for Cancer risings. On May 3rd, we also have a lovely sexual, passionate, sparkly aspect as Mars sextiles Pluto. You have more endurance, more stamina in the bedroom. You're more attractive. You have that charm about you, power without being intimidating. On May 7th, we have a new moon in Taurus, especially exciting for Capricorn and Scorpio risings, because for them it's activating their relationship houses, but very kind of abundant, growth-oriented new moon. Taurus in general is a very like fertile sign. So I think this could be important for new beginnings that involve home, family, real estate, moving together with your loved ones, building your wealth, building abundance. Let's see what else. Full moon in Sagittarius on May 23rd is important too, because it's especially important for Leo risings and Gemini risings, because it's your 5th and your 7th house. So it could bring some kind of completion. I think for all of us, it will be the time when we are reviewing our beliefs, our ideals, our guiding principles, maybe making some adjustments to what we thought was right, but realize through lived-in experience or other type of experiences that it's not serving us anymore. Venus will enter Gemini on May 23rd. Will stay here until June 17th. And Venus in Gemini is a lot more open-minded, playful. It's kind of, very attracted to the mind, less attracted by the looks. So we are potentially going to be more interested in chatting, texting, sexting, choosing partners that are exciting and fun, and we can have a really sparkly, I feel like I use that word a lot, but fun conversation with. May 25th is a big deal too. Venus will trine Pluto, which is another beautiful, sort of sexy, passionate aspect. And Jupiter will enter Gemini, which is not necessarily romantic for everyone unless you are a Sagittarius rising, because then it's entering your 7th house, or Aquarius rising, because then it's entering your 5th house. So that is it in terms of the main energies, main transits. Let's break it down for all 12 signs. And the way this works, I will talk about the main planets in charge of the 7th house and 1st house, because 1st house is you, 7th house is the partner. I will discuss some other transits that might be important for you. If you'd like a full-length horoscope for the month of May, become my subscriber on my website, anastasiadoesastrology.com. You can also book your reading on my website and get personal guidance and answers to any questions you might have. So let's start with Aries rising. For Aries risings, this is a really important time, as you probably know already if you're listening to my videos. I have been talking about it for a while, but you are going through a period of personal empowerment, personal growth. You're also letting a lot of things go with Saturn in your 12th house, but you're also coming into your own and discovering who you are. And in the process, there are some relationship changes. In March, we had a lunar eclipse in your house of partnerships and relationships. For some of you, this could have brought an ending to a relationship. For others, maybe it inspired a new beginning or some kind of commitment, some kind of change. It could have also suggested changes to all of your relationships. Once again, as you figure out who you are, it is more likely that some relationships will fall by the wayside, I think. They just fall off your radar, versus other relationships that are more supportive and more aligned will grow stronger. This also makes sense with Pluto being in your 11th house. Here it's potentially a little bit more about friendships and alliances, but it could also be about romantic relationships too. So for you as an Aries rising, it's important to remember that you are Mars and your partner is Venus. Aries is ruled by Mars. So you're Mars, your 7th house is Libra, ruled by Venus. So they are Venus. So we really want to track what each of those planets is doing. In April, Mars, you were in the 12th house. So you may have dealt with a little bit more uncertainty, confusion. Maybe you worked on things in privacy of your own home. Maybe you've done some research. Maybe you've had issues with sleep. You were sort of private, introspective, maybe feeling ready for something new, but not quite knowing what that new thing is. Also, Mercury would have been retrograde in your 1st house. In May, Mars, your ruler, is coming into the 1st house. And this is suggestive of you becoming a lot more confident, a lot more active, a lot more energetic, and willing to make change happen. So if we're talking about romance, if you're single and romance is something you're prioritizing right now, Mars being in Aries will give you that desire to connect with your partner, to create a relationship, to go out there, to show yourself. Venus, until May 23rd, the ruler of your house of relationships, your partner, is in the 2nd house. So for those who are single, Venus being in the 2nd house is suggesting that your partner can be coming through money-related activities. You can meet them at the bank right now. You can meet them through dealing with loans, through dealing with debts, through consulting financial advisors. Maybe they are your accountant, your financial consultant. Maybe you meet them while filling the meter or something. But like, you can meet them through financial dealings. Maybe if you're asking someone for guidance, you kind of click and there is a spark there. If you are in a relationship, Venus being in the 2nd house suggests that your partner is currently very like money oriented. Maybe they're making more money, maybe they're exploring new ideas, maybe they're paying off debts or saving for something. So they're quite focused. And also I think they're feeling in they're kind of getting their stride. Similarly to you, you're feeling confident within yourself. They're feeling quite secure within themselves. But I think there's a bit of a disagreement between like you being really active and direct and them being a little bit more slow and steady. So you may run into those kind of issues. What's interesting is on May 1st, Venus in Taurus will square Pluto in the 11th, and considering that Venus is your partner and the 11th house is your house of friendships, hopes, and dreams, and also Venus is in the house of money, there might be some kind of disagreement between you and your partner about resources, or even a disagreement about your friendships. Maybe your partner doesn't like a friend you have and you need to figure things out. There can also be some kind of financial problems or financial challenge that they're dealing with. What I like is on May 3rd, Mars, you will sextile this Pluto. So it's like, if there is some kind of disagreement about money, about values, about resources, that will likely to be fixed. You have the power to sort of come in and be proactive and figure things out. Like, let's say if your partner is having some kind of financial issue or conflict with your friends or their friends, you have the power to be like, okay, let's look at it objectively. Let's solve this thing. For singles, this could be somehow tension between you and your friends. So it's not necessarily romantic, but maybe it's, let's say if you're single and you like one of your friends and you realize that your friend maybe has someone in their life already, or you disagree about some kind of important issue, there could be a bit of a tension and maybe conflict, maybe some drama with a friend because of the love interest or for other reason. May 13th, Venus will sextile Saturn in the 12th. This is beneficial if you're looking to date someone older, if you're looking to date someone mature, if you're looking to date someone who is maybe a healer. So once again, if you're single, this could be good for dating someone you meet through meditation, yoga, volunteering. Maybe you're connecting with someone who has the knowledge, the patience, the healing abilities that you'd like. If you're in a relationship, you're maybe making a relationship official, committing, or discussing things and kind of coming to talking about the future, let's say. May 18th, Venus will conjoin Uranus in the second house. It could suggest that you are encountering someone suddenly and perhaps exploring dating someone who is unusual for you. Or if you are in a relationship, this could suggest that your partner might be coming into some kind of financial abundance. They're sort of coming into an inheritance, or they're getting a bonus or something like that. It could also suggest that they're very generous with you and maybe they're bringing you money. And for some, it's not going to be a romantic partner. It could also suggest that some kind of person in your life, a serious relationship, a connection, is becoming a source of gifts or opportunities for you. Between May 23rd and June 17th, Venus will be in Gemini, your third house, and Venus, like I said, rules the house of relationships. So once again, if you're single, Venus being in the third house increases your chances of meeting someone out and about in your neighborhood, in a local coffee shop, maybe at a local get-together. Let's say your building associate is throwing a party, building association, so that all the tenants will meet each other. So it's a great time to go out there and meet some people. Yeah, and also like maybe take on some kind of classes, learn new things. You may be encountering people through exploring your skills. Go for a run, go to a new coffee shop. Maybe even like, explore hanging out with your siblings. You never know, a sibling might have a friend that you find interesting, or a neighbor might have a friend. So put yourself out there. And if you are in a relationship, Venus being in the third house could suggest that your partner is becoming busier. Your partner is actually out and about. They're taking more short trips. They're dealing with more meetings. They're negotiating things. They're proactive. They're getting involved with their business. Maybe they're passing exams. So could also be a sign that your partner's life is speeding up. Let me know how this resonates, and if you want to know more, book a reading on my website, anastasiadoesastrology.com. You can also become a horoscope subscriber, which is the subscription where I send you horoscopes at the start of every month. I also guide you throughout the weeks, send you daily horoscopes at the start of the week, and offer suggestions, tips, and insights to make your life easier and more joyful. If you are a Taurus rising, you are Venus, your partner is Mars. So your partner, since it's ruled by Mars, Mars spends the entire month in Aries. Aries is your 12th house. This suggests that your partner maybe, we're going to talk about people in relationships, then we're going to talk about the single folks. Folks is a weird word. I never use it until now. So if you are in a relationship, Mars is in the 12th house. Suggests that your partner is maybe busy this month. They're maybe somehow distant, not because they don't like you anymore, but because they're just in a faraway place. 12th house is the place of like turmoil. So on some level, they might be dealing with more turmoil, maybe some more problem solving. Maybe they're kind of like their work is more involved this month, and they're just unavailable to you as much as you would like them to be. They could also be getting more involved in spiritual pursuits, exploring their imagination, working in solitude, and just sort of powering through. Maybe they're focused on healing someone. It could also be the time when a family member is going through a difficult time and they're just, once again, they're somehow preoccupied for whatever reason. If you're single, Mars being in the 12th house could suggest meeting a partner through yoga, meditation, going to some kind of retreat, traveling. Most likely if you're traveling to like a spiritual place, you are exploring your spirituality. They could be 12th house people like meditation teachers, guides. 12th house also represents hospitals, prisons, mental asylums. So for some, they might be coming from that place. Maybe they work at a hospital. Maybe they are a therapist. Maybe they are a therapist in a prison, right? There are people out there like that. Venus is in your first house until May 23rd. This is beautiful too. Venus is your chart ruler and she's in your face. She's right next to you. Venus in the first house is the time of the most charm, most attractiveness, better manifestation skills. You are the embodiment of Venus right now. So it's really beautiful. But because you and your partner are separated by the walls of the house, the 12th and the 1st, they're in the 12th, you're in the 1st, it could also suggest that you are busy exploring personal interests and they are busy maybe problem solving or handling some kind of, important, private or tumultuous situations in their life. Or they're just working on something in privacy of their home. On May 1st, Venus, your ruler, will square Pluto in the 10th house. You may run into some kind of conflict with the public or some kind of power struggle at work with your bosses, maybe some type of tension. I like that on May 3rd, Mars, which is the ruler of your house of partnerships, will sextile Pluto in the 10th house. So your partner might be offering you suggestions and solutions. And with 10th house, yes, we're talking about career, but we may also be talking about some kind of issue. Maybe you're dealing with your housing association or you're dealing with a plumber and you're feeling stressed by it, or you're sort of feeling obsessive, but then the partner comes in and it's like, it's okay, we will figure it out. On May 7th, there's a new moon in your first house. So once again, a sign of important new beginnings in your life. And I think these new beginnings will affect your relationship because, as always, if you are changing and you're exploring new career paths, new interests, new hobbies, new sources of income, your relationships will need to transform accordingly. On May 13th, Venus, your chart ruler, will sextile Saturn in the 11th. This could suggest that you're starting to date a friend, or you are maybe getting a crush on a friend, or you're starting to feel more attracted to someone older, maybe someone you previously saw as a teacher, mentor, guide. Now you are seeing them in a different light. Venus sextile Saturn can also represent commitment and serious conversations in relationships, getting ready to move things to the next level. For some, maybe talking about having a kid. For others, maybe talking about marriage. I also like that on May 18th, Venus will conjoin Uranus in the first house. May 17th, we also have Mercury in a square to Pluto, so there's a little bit more of like tense conversations, maybe needing to air things out, needing to be honest with yourself if you're single about what you want, or with your partner if you are in a relationship. And then on the 18th of May, Venus conjoins Uranus in your first house, which suggests that you are ready for new beginnings. You are ready for a fresh start, whether it is in the existing relationship or in a brand new relationship. Maybe you're opening yourself up to dating people you normally wouldn't go for because you're realizing that they offer what you actually need. We don't always get what we want, but sometimes we actually get what we need. In fact, I believe most of the time. So like I think, early in the month, there's a bit of tension. There's a bit of like frustration, maybe passions, increased desires, and then there's a bit of calming around May 13th, and on the 18th of May with Venus conjoining Uranus, you have the power to reinvent yourself, even like honestly as simply as like changing your wardrobe. You feel like it's springtime and you're getting ready to buy new clothes and you're feeling on top of the world, and you start attracting people based on how you're feeling. And then finally on May 23rd, Venus enters Gemini, will stay here until June 17th, and Venus represents you entering the second house, and this is quite beneficial for making money, collaborating, maybe getting more gifts from your partner. If we're talking about dating, you may also be meeting someone through financial institutions, meeting someone at the bank, meeting someone through an accounting firm, financial consultant. I think a lot of your desires go towards having better financial routines, and so I think as you're focusing on that, you're maybe more likely to encounter someone in that realm. Let me know how this resonates. What was April like for you? And if you'd like to know more, book a reading on my website, anastasiadoesastrology.com. On my website, you can also become a horoscope subscriber to receive monthly horoscopes emailed to you at the start of every month. Now, if you are the lovely Gemini rising, you are Mercury, your partner is Jupiter. And this month is really, really exciting for you. So in terms of you, until May 15th, Mercury, your ruler, is in Aries, the 11th house. And in April, you may have had to address your friendships, rethink your social media strategy. Maybe you've brought back up old dreams or revisited some old group projects. So in May, you're continuing to take action on those. Your ruler being in the 11th house can also suggest that you are exploring new friendships, exploring new connections, rethinking your, once again, social media or your social networking strategy. And then from May 15th until June 3rd, your ruler is in Taurus, the 12th house. So you're more likely to pull back, be more introspective, ask deep questions, focus on your spirituality, and sort of invest into your mental health. What is exciting to me is the fact that Jupiter, the ruler of your 7th house, is going to transition into Gemini this month. So until May 25th, and since May last year, Jupiter is in Taurus. Jupiter rules your house of relationships. Jupiter rules your house of career, and he is in the 12th house. So as a partner, as far as the partner goes, for those single, this could suggest that the partner is somehow removed from you. 12th house has always been the dark house. It's invisible from the ascendant. We connect the most with our ascendant sign. We embody and represent the energy of the ascendant, and the planets in the sign of the ascendant tend to speak the loudest, and they tend to be kind of really in our face. For example, if you're born with the moon in the 1st house, you may be really close with your mother. Your mother might literally be living with you, or you're living with her, because the moon represents the mother. If you need help with the moon, get my moon in Cancer candle, especially good for those with the moon in Capricorn or Scorpio. Just a quick, just a quick note. So Jupiter being in the 12th house for those in relationship could suggest that the last year your partner may have been dealing with some emotional struggles. Maybe they've been feeling stressed. Maybe they've been feeling overwhelmed, overworked. Maybe they had to work more. Maybe they had to travel more. Maybe you're literally in a long distance relationship, or the partner is going through a bit of a difficult time, right? Quite likely. If you're single, this could also not have been the best time for relationships, because your ideal partner could have been also struggling and somehow unavailable to you. Maybe you've experienced difficulty connecting with others, and that still applies until May 25th. The best place to meet the partner is a spiritual place, because you are looking for someone who can actually handle the turmoils of life and be stable through it all and be like a rock to you. So if you go to like a yoga retreat or a meditation temple or Buddhist temple, you may feel like you're finding someone who is mature and spiritual. On the negative, you can also be currently attracting people who have mental health issues or addiction issues, or, like I said, somehow challenged because maybe life is getting them down. Maybe they're dealing with things outside of their control, or they're just overworked right now, which is also quite likely. So before Jupiter going into your first house, which is exciting, and I will talk about it in a second, we also have the full moon in Sagittarius, your 7th house, on May 23rd, which represents a completion of a relationships chapter. This chapter would have started with a new moon in Sagittarius in December 2023. So for some of you, you are clearing space by releasing a connection. You're clearing space for new beginnings. If you're single, this could be the time maybe you say goodbye to your ex that you have been hoping to reconnect with. Or you get clear on what you want. You look at your ideals. You look at your guiding principles. Sagittarius is all about what you believe in. This could be a really great time, once again, if you're single or if you're in a relationship, to revisit your goals, to figure out what are you trying to attract, what is it that you want, and how do people that come into your life, how do they match your desires? Are you being clear? Are you being honest? If you're in a relationship, this could be an important period in which you figure out what you want, what your partner wants, and how your goals align or maybe do not align. So it's an important time of endings, change, commitment, transformation in relationships. And then comes May 25th. Even before then, on May 23rd, Venus enters Gemini, your first house. She stays here until June 17th, conjoins Jupiter, hangs out with Jupiter. Venus in the first house is the time of extra charm. You are magnetic, you're appealing, you embody the goddess of love and beauty. You don't have to try that hard. It is likely people will give you compliments. You will experience a strong desire to change your look, to update your wardrobe, to get beauty procedures done, and it's a great time to do that. But the most exciting thing happens on May 25th, and that is Jupiter entering Gemini, your first house, all the way until June 9th, 2025. Full year of Jupiter in your first house, moisturizing the soil, prepping the soil for new beginnings. Jupiter rules your house of relationships, it rules your house of career. So for some of you who are like not interested in relationship, this is likely to be the time of new beginnings, professional growth, new partnerships, right? For others, it could very much be about relationships. Last time Jupiter was in Gemini was from mid 2012 until mid 2013. Take a look back. Have you encountered someone? Have you entered a new relationship? Because Jupiter ruling the 7th house, coming to first house, it's literally the partner is coming to you, could suggest that now you're more likely to encounter someone while being out and about. You still have to be out and about. Don't expect someone to just knock on your door, but it is quite likely that the partner will come to you, will approach you, will reach out to you. So keep me posted if you are a Gemini rising. I'd love to know what's happening in your life. And if you want to know more, if you want specific dates, if you want additional guidance, book a reading on my website, anastasiadoesastrology.com. You can also pick up a horoscope subscription to find out more about what's coming up for you in the month of May, and then, you know, continue kind of being looked after by me. I look at your personal chart, I send you a written report at the start of every month and guide you through the astrological transits. Now, if you are a Cancer rising, so if you are a Cancer rising, we just had the full moon in Scorpio, your 5th house, on April 23rd, which would have represented changes related to love, pleasure, parenthood. You may have addressed a relationship situation, maybe examined a fling for long-term potential and decided to let it go if it didn't fit your expectations, or maybe you chose to invest more energy, more time and attention into a relationship. Maybe you chose to make it official, to move it to the next level, because it's also the house of children, parenthood. For some of you, you may have just found out that you're pregnant, or you may have decided to start trying for a child, or maybe the opposite. Maybe you decided that you don't want to have a kid, and maybe the change in a relationship comes from that. If you're single, this could have also been the time of like getting clear on what you want, transforming outdated relationships, maybe figuring out some financial situations or conflicts of values, because the full moon happened in a square to Pluto in the 8th house. And Pluto is a big player this month. He's definitely worth mentioning. He's about to go retrograde on May 2nd in your house of shared finances and resources. And he will make its way back into Capricorn, which is your 7th house of relationships and partnerships. So since 2008, you have gone through a lot of growth in your relationship sector. You may have experienced big beginnings or big endings in relationships, and you're almost done with this like churning, transforming, empowering, committing energy, or, you know, facing shadows in relationships. But between September 1st and November 19th, you'll get a little bit more. But until then, in May, like, I think the full moon in Scorpio on April 23rd could have been really important in terms of realizing any disagreements you have, any issues financially you have with a partner, any even literally some kind of like debts and obligations and financial struggles that you're dealing with that are holding you back. So the full moon could have been all about realizing that. And then Pluto going retrograde on May 2nd in your 8th house could be the time in which you will be, this lasts from May 2nd until October 11th, 2024, the retrograde itself. And here you are looking at, I think you're definitely looking at how your beliefs, how your debts, how your obligations are holding you back. And this, you know, it could seem like it's not connected to relationships, but I think it's going to be for many of you, because sometimes if you feel like you're struggling with money, maybe that struggle with money comes from a lack mentality, and maybe the lack mentality applies not just to money, but also applies to your belief in yourself or what you're worth. So I think on like a very basic level, this could be the time when you're talking to your partner about resources, you're figuring out how to better spend money, how to save for something, how to maybe set a bank account for your children. But on a more spiritual level, this could be the time when you're healing, when you're examining your beliefs. If you're single, this could be like really important in terms of realizing what you deserve, what you want, and how your agreements with other people, how your obligations to other people are helping or hindering you. So reflecting on questions of like power, control, when it comes to money, when it comes to agreements to other people, with other people, when it comes to like belief in yourself and healing of old wounds is quite likely here. In general, your 7th house is Capricorn, so it's ruled by Saturn. Saturn spends the entire year in your 9th house, which could suggest, as I've been saying, that the partner is either studying, maybe writing some legal documents, maybe they're in a foreign country right now. Can also suggest that the partner may be coming, like a future partner, a new partner, may be coming from the sector of education. Maybe they're your classmate, maybe they're your advisor. maybe they're your mentor, they can be a lawyer, they can be someone foreign right now. Maybe you're connecting with someone foreign, or just someone highly spiritual, well-educated, well-rounded, sort of well-traveled type of person. Venus, the planet of love, is in Taurus until May 23rd, your 11th house. This could be beautiful for going out more, networking, spending time with friends, and connecting romantically with friends. So for single people, this is great for dating a friend, for going to like a party, someone's wedding party maybe, and meeting someone there, or meeting someone through volunteering, meeting someone through some kind of association you belong to, a group of allies, like-minded people. And those people can be turning into romantic partners right now. If you are in a relationship, you're maybe enjoying hanging out with friends, going on double dates. Maybe you're exploring starting a partnership with a friend, less romantic, but still exciting. And then from May 23rd until June 17th, Venus will be in Gemini, your 12th house. And you are more inspired to date someone who is fun, who is chatty, intellectual. Watch out for Venus in the 12th house, classic sort of danger, and that is being attracted to someone who is preoccupied, who has commitment issues, who struggles with addiction, who is not fully available to you, because 12th house represents, it's like a dark house, so it's a hidden place. So watch out for self-defeating tendencies in relationships, but it's a great time to date someone spiritual, to meet them through a church, through a meditation class, through a yoga class, or do those things with your partner. Even like travel with your partner, getting away, escaping together could be great right now. Let me know how this resonates, and if you want to know more, book a reading on my website, anastasiadoesastrology.com. You can also pick up a horoscope subscription, which involves me looking at your natal chart and sending you monthly written horoscopes where I break down the month ahead, tell you what's coming up, and guide you through the events to come. Now, if you are a Leo rising, there is a big shift happening this month, and that is Pluto going retrograde in your 7th house. So Pluto going retrograde is interesting. Please share how has Pluto since late January until now, being in your 7th house, affected your relationships. If you are single, you may have noticed certain patterns that you need to work through. You may have felt more attracted to Plutonian people, sort of dark, mysterious, kind of people who are maybe shamanic, or people who have like secret past. Like you may have noticed an attraction to people who are more intense. If you are in a relationship, you may have noticed that your partner is going through a more difficult time. Pluto in the 7th is not always about your shadows and relationships coming up. They can very much be about partner, how they deal with stress, how they handle shadows, how they handle difficulty. I have a Leo rising friend who's dating a Scorpio rising, and so he's been having a lot of stress connected to his family, and it's affecting their relationship. And it's not about what she's doing, it's very much about what's going on in his life. So Pluto being in your 7th house is definitely putting pressures and testing your relationship to see whether you can survive the shadows of life, whether you can move through difficulties together and learn to come together versus be torn apart. So Pluto going retrograde between May 2nd and October 11th could very much be the time when you are, asking questions about power, control in relationships, asking yourself what you want, what you're willing to deal with, where can you be more patient versus where do you need to be more direct and clear about what you want. So it could definitely be a very important time for your relationship. In general, you being a Leo rising, you are ruled by the sun. The sun starts the month until May 20th. It's in Taurus, your 10th house. So you're maybe busy working and exploring professional opportunities. Venus is also in Taurus until May 23rd, which is actually suggestive of you being so focused on work that you're actually meeting people at work, or you're meeting people through work right now that have romantic potential, that ignite your fiery heart, Leo rising's heart. So yeah, meeting, being attracted to people who are ambitious, people who are hard workers, people who are successful. You're noticing yourself like kind of gravitating more towards those people. And then from about May 20th, the sun, your ruler, enters Gemini, your 11th house, will stay here until June 20th. And Venus also enters Gemini on May 23rd, will stay here until June 17th. And so does Jupiter, and Jupiter rules your 5th house of pleasure and sex and kind of fun relationships. So on some level, this could suggest that you are dating more casually, that you're more open to having fun, and you may also be quite busy connecting with friends right now, going to more parties, celebrating more events. You're maybe networking more, maybe you're growing your community if you're on social media. This definitely makes sense. But I think Venus being in the 11th house is a great time for dating a friend, for going to a wedding, maybe dating someone you meet at a wedding, being more open-minded, exploring, dating someone who, you know, stimulates your mind versus someone who is very successful. I think your interest shifts. If you are in a relationship and, you know, like Venus is in Gemini for May 23rd, this could suggest that you and your partner maybe are volunteering together. Maybe you are going to dates that are maybe more group dates. Maybe you're hanging out. Speaking is hard. Hanging out with your friends, connecting with other people, starting projects together, working on dreams together. You can be working on different dreams, but together. And finally, on May 23rd, we get the full moon in Sagittarius. This is your 5th house, and this represents questions of love, pleasure, sex, children, self-expression. So since we're talking about love in this video, and children and pleasure are very much applicable, full moon is always a change. It's always a transformation. Sometimes it's an ending. So in this case, if you already feel like the relationship is not doing so well, if Pluto being in your 7th house has revealed that the person you're with is not the right person, then the relationship might end. If the relationship is strong, this could be the time you're moving into the next level, because it's the house of children. Maybe you're talking about children. Maybe you're getting pregnant. Maybe you're starting to try for a child. If you're single, this could be the time when you realize that you need to make changes to your love life. Maybe you need to make changes to your wardrobe. Maybe you need to make changes to your hobbies. Maybe you need to invest more into doing fun things, and so that you're more in love with yourself and that you can attract the right person too. And maybe you're meeting someone through fun activities and joyful sort of hobbies and fun type things. Let me know how this resonates. How has Pluto in the 7th house been? And if you want to know more, book a reading on my website, anastasiadoesastrology.com. You can also pick up a horoscope subscription on my website that involves written horoscopes personalized to your chart, sent to you at the start of every month, where I guide you, offer suggestions, and help you maximize the positive transits and avoid the more challenging ones. Check out my website. Moving on to Virgo rising next. If you are a Virgo rising, you are Mercury, your partner is Jupiter. And this is quite an important month for both you and your partner. Also, I gotta mention it that Saturn is spending the entire year in your 7th house, and this might be affecting your partner. Maybe they're going through a more difficult time. Maybe they're addressing some kind of karmic questions. Maybe you're also finding yourself taking on more responsibilities and having to support your partner, having to be more mature and think about kind of important lifelong questions. So in April, your chart ruler was retrograde between the 1st and the 25th, and this could have been the time when you have felt a little bit uncertain. Maybe you have dealt with issues around money, around agreements. Maybe you had to talk to your partner about resources, about finances, about who brings how much money, your savings account, your pension plan, your children and their future. So kind of having difficult, uncomfortable conversations could have been likely. If you're single, maybe you were just dealing with finances and paying off debts, handling taxes, stuff like that. In May, that continues until May 15th, but you have more clarity after you've dealt with some difficulty and been honest and discussed things. Now you kind of have the know-how and determination to actually, figure out your bank accounts, sign contracts you need to sign, come to an agreement in your relationship. And then between May 15th and June 3rd, Mercury, your ruler, will be in Taurus, your 9th house. And this could suggest that you are exploring new things. Maybe you're writing, maybe you're studying, maybe you're teaching other people. You're kind of becoming really focused on growth. What is good is until May 25th, Jupiter, the ruler of your 7th house, is also in Taurus, your 9th house of education. So if you're single, this is a sign that you and your partner are coming closer and closer together. Mercury and Jupiter will conjoin on June 4th. So if you're single, June could be really, really important for relationships and partnerships of all kind. But Jupiter, the ruler of the house of relationships, being in Taurus until May 25th suggests that your partner is right now studying, writing, publishing, maybe exploring new projects. Maybe they're also very growth oriented and very focused. Maybe they're traveling. If I said that already, they're traveling. And so the fact that your chart ruler is going into the 9th house suggests that you and your partner are getting on the same page. You're getting on the same you're becoming more aligned, you're understanding each other better, you're figuring things out together. This could also be a business partner, right? We're talking about relationship in this video, but it could be very much like your business connection. If you're single, the ruler of the 7th house, Jupiter being in the 9th house, could suggest that the partner currently could be coming from the house of education, from the house of law. So they could be a lawyer, they could be a legal advisor, from the travel place. So you can be meeting them while traveling, or they could be a foreigner, or you could currently even be involved in a long distance relationship with someone you maybe met while taking classes or talking on social media. So potentially the partner, like I said, either is coming from a foreign land, or they're a teacher, a classmate, someone well educated. This is also supported by the fact that Venus is in your 9th house until May 23rd. So also a sign of a foreign romance or a connection with a teacher, a classmate, mentor, guide. From May 25th until June 9th, 2025, for a full year, Jupiter, the ruler of the house of relationships, will be in Gemini, your 10th house. And this is suggestive of you dating someone you work with. Once again, if you're single, being attracted to people who are hardworking, people who are ambitious, people who are successful, people you work with, or people you encounter at work, people who are maybe your clients, or maybe they change the water bottles, or they deliver water bottles to your company. So the partner can be very much coming from the house of work. If you're in a relationship, this could suggest that your partner's career is picking up and they're becoming a lot more focused on their professional life, and they're investing a lot of time starting new projects. Venus will also be in Gemini from May 23rd until June 17th, which is also a good sign of relationships being tied to work. And besides the things I mentioned, it could also suggest that you and your partner, you and your spouse, or you and your significant other are starting a business together. Maybe you're starting to work on something together. Especially because, like I said, Mercury is also about to go into Gemini and you're about to conjoin, which could suggest that you're meeting the partner or you're starting something together with your existing partner. Let me know how this resonates, and if you want to know more, book a reading on my website, anastasiadoesastrology.com. You can also become a subscriber to receive monthly horoscopes sent to you at the start of every month. Now, if you are the lovely Libra rising, as always, you are Libra, ruled by Venus. Your 7th house is Aries, partner is ruled by Mars. April was a big month romantically, also potentially for professional relationships of all kinds. We had a solar eclipse on April 8th. We had Mercury retrograde in Aries the entire month. Between the 1st and 25th, felt like the entire month. But you could have had opportunities to rethink what you want, to rethink your agreements, to renegotiate contracts. I have definitely been renegotiating my real estate agreement, my, what is it called? My lease. So as a Libra rising, that has been a thing. But for some, maybe you've been negotiating something in your romantic relationship. The ruler, Mars, has been in the 6th house. Maybe you've been looking at your life, who pays for things, who does laundry, who does groceries, who cleans. So sort of mundane questions could have come up. The solar eclipse in Aries could have also brought up someone from your past into your life. The same goes for Mercury retrograde, and could have introduced new beginnings, new kind of opportunities, new chapter to your relationship, because it's all about fresh new energy. This entire month, Mars, the ruler of the house of relationships, is in Aries in the 7th house, which suggests that your partner right now is very much confident and in their home on some level. They could literally be in their home because they're traveling to see their family and they're spending time in their hometown. But it could also be a lot more subtle and connected to the partner feeling secure within themselves and having more energy and having more courage, right? There may be being really active and exercising more and taking care of business, fighting if they are a lawyer, or like expressing themselves somehow through competitive, assertive actions. If you're single, this could suggest that you can meet the partner right now through exercise, through going to the gym, through maybe going to volunteer somewhere where you're fighting for the worthy cause and you're meeting them there. They can be like, because like I said, they're in their home, it could also suggest that they're like the leader of some kind of organization. So you go to a bar and they're the bartender there, they're in their bar home, and you meet them through that. Since you are ruled by Venus, your ruler is also very strong this month. Until May 23rd, Venus is in Taurus, your 8th house. So on some level, you and your partner are a little bit in different places, right? Like the partner is in the 7th, very much like in their own domain, taking action. You being represented by Venus in the 8th house, you may be more focused on your finances right now. Looking for clients, negotiating, signing contracts, paying off debts, hustling, making money, investing money. But you're still connected. So on May 1st, your ruler, Venus, will square Pluto in the 5th house. And this could suggest some kind of power struggles in your relationship, maybe tensions surrounding money, surrounding children, some kind of difficult conversation, some shadows, if there's any like obsession or jealousy that might be brought up and become more visible. On the 3rd of May, though, Mars in Aries, so this is the partner, will sextile Pluto in the 5th house. So if you did have some kind of conflict and disagreement, this could suggest that the partner comes up with a solution, or they figure out a way to compromise, or they're sort of figuring things out and helping you guys move past it. If you're single, Mars sextiling Pluto in the 5th could suggest meeting a partner through the 5th house type activity, which is going out dancing, going to a paint night, doing something fun, going to a child's party. Maybe you meet a single dad there or a single mom. So yeah, that could be suggestive that like you're doing something fun and pleasurable to you, and you end up meeting someone by doing that. So it's almost like don't try too hard. On May 13th, Venus, your chart ruler, will sextile Saturn in the 6th, and that could suggest that you are having important conversations in relationship. You're maybe also finding yourself attracted to someone a little older, or at the very least someone mature, someone successful, someone ambitious, someone who is kind of like manager, boss type character. It could also represent opportunities to commit in a relationship, opportunities to maybe start a joint bank account or figure out some kind of spending goal together, open a pension account together, open an account for your child together, because Venus is in the 8th house. May 18th, Venus conjoins Uranus in the 8th house, and Venus Venus conjunct Uranus to me suggests that whatever tensions you have been dealing with earlier in the month, now you have the fresh new perspective. You have moved past it and you're ready for a new chapter in your relationship. Once again, if you're single, maybe it's the opportunity to date someone different to people you normally date. If you're in a relationship, maybe you're experimenting sexually, or you're coming with a compromise. Like, you know, if it's connected to like children, when to have children, maybe you're deciding to wait a couple of years instead of like not have them at all or have them now. You're maybe figuring out like an agreement of sorts. Another important transit that is going on this month is Pluto goes retrograde in your 5th house. And once again, all these questions surrounding sex, surrounding pleasure, surrounding romance, children, all of them will be front and center, and you will get a chance to examine your control issues, your obsessions, your maybe desire for knowledge, your sort of negative tendencies, or even your fear of rejection, and work through them, perhaps transform them so that you have more power and more control. For those who have kids, this could also be an important time where maybe you're dealing with some power struggles with your child and figuring out new ways to connect with them. On May 23rd, Venus will enter Gemini. Will stay here until June 17th. Venus in Gemini is in your 9th house. And this is suggestive of, for those single, this could represent new relationships coming through school, through travel, through writing. Maybe it's your publishing agent, through a legal matter. Maybe you're starting to date your lawyer. If you're in a relationship, this could be a great time to take a class together, take a cooking class, to read a book together. Maybe you're reading Kama Sutra or something. And to travel together. Yeah, like travel, study, explore new things together, open yourself up to new exciting possibilities. If you want to know more, book a reading on my website, anastasiadoesastrology.com, or become my subscriber to receive horoscope subscriptions sent to you at the start of every month. Now, if you are the beautiful Scorpio rising, April has been really big for you romantically, and this energy continues into May. Your 7th house of relationships is packed. There is the sun there, Venus, Mercury from May 15th, Jupiter until May 25th, Uranus, so 5 planets. There's also a new moon here. So what has happened to you in April? Let me know. You had the Jupiter-Uranus conjunction in the 7th house, which is great for relationships of all kinds. This could be about romantic relationships. This could be, for some of you, about business partnerships. But it has very fresh, very sort of like conception, new beginnings, planting seeds of something, even if it's not manifesting immediately. It could literally be about like, I want to start dating again and creating a profile on a dating app. Or it could be about starting to try for a baby, right? Or it could be about starting a website. So depending on what seeds you were planting in April, you're continuing to grow them in May. You are Mars ruled, which is also suggestive of the fact that this year you're very work oriented. So for some of you, it can clearly very much be about work partnerships and alliances or business connection. So it's not going to be about love for every single one, for every single Scorpio rising. But there is very strong relationship energy right now. Maybe your relationships currently are with your daughter, or with your grandchild, or with your business partner. But for some of you, it will be very much about love and new beginnings in love. So Mars, your chart ruler, is in Aries all month. It's in the 6th house, and you're very work focused. You're work focused, you're health focused, you're eating better, you're exercising more, you're starting new kind of initiatives to take better care of yourself. Venus, the ruler of the house, the ruler of your relationship house, is in her house. She's in Taurus. So this is a good sign for your partner. Actually, both you and your partner are in the signs that the planets rule. Mars is your ruler. Mars is in Aries. Venus is the ruler of the 7th house. She's in Taurus. So both you and your partner are quite active and quite confident and quite sort of focused this month, but maybe on different things. For you, it's about work, it's about problem solving. Maybe you're serving other people. Maybe you're working, through some kind of health issue or working in health. And your partner may be focused more about building their business or taking care of their own health, and maybe they're working on some kind of partnership as well, or they're just taking care of their personal goals. But I think there's also a lot of focus on like growing your relationship together. So maybe you're just taking care of some kind of practical concerns and your partner is focusing on a larger vision. So Venus being in the 7th house is quite nice. Until May 23rd, she's very relationship oriented. She's in her home sign. I think if you're dealing with any disagreements, any conflicts, Venus should help smooth things over and soften any challenges. Not the whole month though. On May 1st, we have Venus in the 7th house squaring Pluto in the 4th, and Pluto goes retrograde this month on May 2nd until October 11th. It will be retrograde, and you are potentially addressing some kind of challenges in the home, some kind of challenges with your family, and this could be a source of pressure and difficulty in your relationship this month because Pluto is aspecting both Venus and Mars. I think you'll move past it because your ruler Mars will sextile Pluto on May 3rd, but it's not without bumps, right? So Pluto in the 4th house could suggest that maybe there is like an issue with your home and your office is flooded and you have to work in the same space with your partner, and you need silence, and they maybe like to listen to music loudly. So there might be a little bit of like battling for territory between you two. Or there might be family issues that either your family or their family that are affecting your peace, that are affecting your relationship, either literal issues or the past issues, right? There might be some kind of childhood patterns coming up and affecting your relationship. But like I said, Mars, your ruler, will sextile Pluto on May 3rd. So it feels to me like you are being the more mature person. You're maybe taking action, you're problem solving and figuring out the solution. On May 7th, we get the new moon in Taurus, your 7th house. This is beautiful. It conjoins Uranus and sextiles Saturn and Pisces in the 5th house. So for some of you, this would be about starting to try for a baby or getting pregnant because it's new beginnings in the house of relationships and a sextile to Saturn and Pisces in the house of children. It could also be about starting some kind of project together with your partner. It could be about maybe reinventing your romantic life, being more open-minded, maybe new beginnings that involve engagement or getting married or signing a prenup or signing some kind of contract. New beginnings in all relationships are likely here. Venus will also sextile Saturn on May 13th, so you have the maturity. Venus once again rules the house of partnerships, so it's your partner. Maybe they're being more mature, maybe they're being kind of more reasonable, but it can also suggest that you are committing and having serious conversations. Or if you're single, you're feeling more attracted to someone who's like older, more mature, and will offer you stability, will offer support in your life. On May 18th, Venus conjoins Uranus in the 7th house. So, I think I focus primarily in this Scorpio section on people in relationships. But if you're single, this is really, really a good time as well. It's a good sign that Venus is in the sign of rulership in your 7th house. It's more powerful for attracting not just anyone, but the person that will be loyal, supportive, stable, sensual, and beautiful, because that's what Venus in Taurus is. So May 18th, Venus conjoins Uranus in your 7th house, the new beginning, sudden attraction. Uranus is fast and rapid and unpredictable. So if you're someone who's like, I've been single my entire life, it can change. All you need is one magical, deep, big, I don't know what the right word for it. All you need is one. You need to meet one person, and sometimes you can get swept off your feet. So Venus conjunct Uranus can suggest some kind of like fresh energy in relationship, unique encounters, unique attractions, or experimentation, new beginnings in existing relationships. May 22nd, 23rd is also lovely. Venus conjoins Jupiter in your 7th house, and you are growing with your relationship and with your partnership. And then from May 23rd until June 17th, Venus will be in the 8th house, which could suggest that you and your partner are dealing with some kind of financial matters. Maybe you're opening a joint bank account, or you're getting a mortgage, or you're paying for home renovation. Something like that is quite likely here. And if you're single, Venus entering the 8th house could suggest that you are meeting people that are financially savvy, people who are maybe helping you with the inheritance or the mortgage or the loans. Also people who are maybe into mysticism, astrologers, tarot readers, shamans, anything like that. Let me know how this resonates, and if you want to know more, book a reading on my website, anastasiadoesastrology.com. You can also pick up a horoscope subscription where I look at your natal chart every month and send you a written horoscope that describes the month to come and guides you and helps you maximize the positive transits and avoid the more challenging ones. If you are a Sagittarius rising, April was a big month romantically. Mercury was retrograde in your 5th house. You may have encountered some kind of challenges romantically. Maybe you had to address a lack of inspiration. Maybe you had to rediscover the spark, rediscover attraction in your relationship, have some conversations, address questions surrounding children. And also you could have experienced new beginnings, right? Because we had the solar eclipse in Aries in your 5th house. So maybe you've reconnected with your ex or reconnected with an old passion, right? Also like reconnected with the inner child. But since we're talking about relationships, maybe an ex, maybe someone from your past. So this month, Mercury is direct. Mars is in your 5th house. So Mars in the 5th house could represent more passionate sex, more sex drive, more kind of fast and exciting and quick type of action in your house of pleasure. You are Jupiter, your partner is Mercury. And this month is very interesting. It's very important because Jupiter, your chart ruler for the last year and until May 25th, 2024, has been in the 6th house. So you have been work focused. You have been focused on serving others. You have been focused on dealing with health issues, yours or other people working in health industry, building yourself up. You could have had a lot of new interests, a lot of new projects, right? But what is about to happen is Jupiter, your chart ruler, is about to go into Gemini, the house of relationships. And this is big because it says that you are going in the house of relationships, which could be the time of busy dating life. It could be the time of new partnerships. It could be the time of blessings in relationships of all kind. Jupiter is not the most romantic planet, but it could be really significant for relationships, especially if your Mercury, the ruler of your 7th house, is in aspect, then it's going to be aspected by Jupiter. So let's say your natal Mercury is in Libra, or it's in Gemini, or it's in Aquarius, even if it's like in Aries or Sagittarius or Leo, Jupiter will be aspecting it, connecting with your ruler of the house of relationships while in the house of relationships. So for a full year between May 25th and June 9th, 2025, Jupiter is in the house of relationships for you. So you get this full like year of opportunity to start something new, to start a business, to start a relationship. And Mercury, the ruler of the house of relationships will be in Gemini as well from June 3rd, and it will conjoin Jupiter on June 4th. So for those of you getting ready to date, or putting yourself out there, this could represent exciting new beginnings. This could represent a fun encounter, a new opportunity to both, I think, date someone or to partner up with someone. Maybe you're starting a business with your significant other. Maybe you're moving a relationship to a new level. Maybe you're starting to try for a baby, right? With the eclipse in the 5th house that we just had. Very powerful new beginnings surrounding pleasure, joy. And like, I could definitely see this as romantic, but I can also see this as partnerships of all kind, as like welcoming connections that are fun, that are exciting, that are youthful. Jupiter and Gemini can almost like offer you multiple possibilities right now. There might be like suddenly, if things have been quiet, suddenly there appears 2 people that are fun and that are interesting and that have very different sides to them. You're like, this person is stable, but this person I feel more passionate about, but this person has the same values, and like you'll have to weigh the pros and the cons. For those in a relationship, Jupiter entering the 7th house could also bring blessings to your partner. This could represent that the partner is going through a more abundant, important period in their life. Venus will also enter Gemini, your 7th house, on May 23rd, and until June 17th, you have even more ability to attract, even more ability to manifest the perfect relationship. And there's going to be a full moon in Sagittarius in your 1st house on May 23rd, which completes the chapter of personal growth started in December 2023. And I think here you're looking at your life in connection with your relationship. And you're maybe going through personal transformations based on the changes in the relationship. So if you're single and you're realizing that you're ready to date, maybe the personal transformation has to do like, okay, I'm going to put myself out there. I'm going to go on dates, even though it makes me cringe inside to imagine going on dates. But I want to be in a relationship, so I'm going to try because now is a good time. Or your partner gets a job opportunity and you're moving with them. So there might be some kind of completion and change to your life because of what's happening in the life of the partner. So really fun, really big period, exciting new beginnings right now. Let me know how this resonates. And if you're curious to know more, book a reading on my website, anastasiadoesastrology.com. You can also pick up a horoscope subscription and receive monthly horoscopes sent to you at the start of every month. They're personalized, written down, and break down the month from that personal perspective with unique insights tailored just to your chart. If you are a Capricorn rising, April had the exciting Jupiter-Uranus conjunction in your 5th house on April 20th. So this could have been about a new passion. So it's not always about love, but 5th house does represent pleasures that involve carnal pleasures as well. So for some of you, this could have been an initiation, new beginning into a new passion. Like you realize that you want to be a travel blogger or a fitness trainer or a teacher or a healer. For others, Jupiter conjunct Uranus in the 5th house could have brought up a new exciting romance or a new idea and desire for romance. Jupiter and Uranus conjoin once every 13 years and it's exciting, but it's right now they're conjoining in the feminine sign of Taurus, which is all about planting seeds and slow growth. So for single people, it could be about like, oh, I really want to date. I'm going to manifest it. I'm going to focus on it. For some, it could be about actually meeting the person. For others, it could be about growth in a romantic relationship, like moving a relationship to the next level or starting to try to have a child, starting to try to get pregnant, right? Or getting pregnant. There's so many possibilities, but I think to sum it up, it's about like joy, pleasure, romance, and you're calling that into your life. You're really focusing right now on having a good time. You're realizing that life is not just about hard work. Between April 29th and May 23rd, Venus is in Taurus, your 5th house, and her house Joy. Venus loves being in the 5th house. So This is beautiful because it gives you ability to manifest things without trying really hard. Venus and Taurus sort of just focuses on looking pretty and showing up and being there. And I heard it described as like Venus and Taurus makes a dent in the earth and waits for things to slide towards it, versus Venus and Libra goes out there because it's a young masculine sign and Taurus is a yin feminine sign. So right now you have, like I said, more power to manifest, and I would recommend you focus on thinking happy thoughts, especially because Jupiter is also in your 5th house until May 25th. So there's a party in your 5th house the entire month of May. The entire month there is at least one planet in your 5th house all month. At least actually 2 planets, because Jupiter is there the whole time. At certain points there's 5 planets. You get my point. There's lots of planets. May 1st can bring up some power struggles in your romantic relationship surrounding money, resources, and agreements, because Venus in the 5th will square Pluto in the 2nd. So you may have to address some kind of questions around money. Maybe you find out your partner has been spending, but you're actually trying to save to go on vacation together. Or you disagree about the future, about your vision of the future, so you have to talk it out, come to a compromise. The energy does get better later in the month. Venus will sextile Saturn, it will conjoin Uranus on May 17th, and I think sextile Saturn on May 13th, conjoins Uranus on May 18th, and I think any disagreements around resources, any sort of power struggles, conflicts of values you may have faced will get resolved. I also like that there's a new moon in Taurus, your 5th house, and a sextile to Saturn in Pisces in your 3rd house on May 7th, which could suggest a new beginning. So once again, this is very much, I think, about your skills, interests, and pleasures. So could be about taking your knowledge, turning it into a baby, like a passion project baby, but could also be about Saturn in Pisces. 3rd house represents neighborhood, neighbors. So maybe you're starting to date a neighbor. 3rd house is also the place of communication. So learning to communicate better in relationships, focusing on speaking your mind is important here. So if it's a new relationship, you're maybe implementing a different strategy where you're going on dating apps and you're telling people exactly what you want, you're being more straightforward, you're asking for what you desire. Or if you were in an existing relationship, maybe you're having conversations about the future, children, and you're also like starting to look at relationships differently and starting to talk about things differently. Between May 23rd and June 17th, Venus will be in Gemini, your 6th house, which could suggest that you're more likely to encounter a new romance at work right now, or at the doctor's office, or at the gym, because 6th house represents kind of problem-solving health work service. So maybe even doing your laundry at the laundromat, at the grocery store, at the bank, less so, but more so wherever. Like, I guess if you're doing running your errands and you're going to the bank, maybe, but more so like gym, laundromat, grocery store, I think. And it could also suggest that you are within, like, for the next kind of few weeks, you're looking at relationships through a more practical lens, which could be helpful to maybe solve any problems your relationship is having, because you have a bit of a detached, objective attitude. Venus is in Gemini. It's an air sign. It's that very intellectual, cerebral sign. But could also suggest that you're so focused on problem solving, you forget about the romance. So make sure you don't forget about the romance. And if you want to know more, book a reading on my website, anastasiadoesastrology.com. You can also pick up a horoscope subscription on my website and receive monthly horoscopes written down and sent to you at the start of every month. That subscription also, all of my subscriptions actually also include weekly summary and daily horoscopes sent to you every week. So check that out. If you are an Aquarius rising, you have Pluto in your 1st house. And this is important for everything in your life, because like Pluto in the first house, it's a 20-year-long transit. So if your ascendant is late in Aquarius, it may not hit you that strongly, but you are very much on the journey of transformation, self-empowerment, getting in touch with your true desires, overcoming fears, being a source of change, right? Someone's got to do it. It's you right now. So you're changing, you're transforming, you're facing some kind of darkness, and your relationships very much have to follow or, fall apart if the person you're with doesn't see the world the way you do or is not open to helping you on your path. As an Aquarius rising, I'm a traditional astrologer. You are ruled by Saturn. Saturn is currently in the second house. You are very focused on your values right now. You're kind of learning to stand on your own 2 feet when it comes to money, when it comes to your goals, when it comes to your ideals. You're maybe handling some kind of stresses financially, dealing with some limitations placed on your resources. Your partner is ruled by the sun. And so the sun is in Taurus between May 1st and May 20th, and then it's in Gemini between May 20th and June 20th. So your partner, the first 20 days of the month, they're very kind of focused on your home, your living situation. Maybe they are, once again, if you're in a relationship, right? We're going to break it down in relationship, out of relationship. If you're in a relationship, the partner can be very nostalgic right now, very focused on being at home, kind of being cozy, being comfortable, being with family. Maybe you're also kind of like spending more time with your family or their family. And then if you're single, this could suggest that the partner right now can be coming to you, like you can be meeting them at a house party, you can be meeting them in your hometown, they can be coming into your life through your family, maybe it's a family, friend's child, or they sort of have similar background to you, and maybe you meet them at a French meetup and you're both French expats in a different country. And then between May 20th and June 20th, the sun will be in Gemini, your 5th house. And if you're in a relationship, this is a sign that you are going on more dates, you're having more fun, you're maybe exploring your creative passions and taking your partner with you, going dancing, taking cooking classes, learning new things together. If you're single and the sun is in the 5th house, you're more likely to be meeting the partner through the house of children, through activities that involve children. So like children's party or children's toy store. Maybe you meet someone who is buying a toy for their niece or nephew, and you're there for the same reason. Meeting someone through creative activities, through like playful activities, through passion projects. Maybe you go skydiving and your partner is there too. Very much like right now, relationships are connected to your idea of fun. On May 7th, the sun, ruler of your house of relationships, will sextile Saturn, your ruler in the 2nd house. And this is interesting because here you have the connection between the partner in the house of home, family, living situation, and you in the house of money and resources. And this could be a sign that, you and your partner are putting resources together and improving your home, or they're helping you somehow with your home, or they are feeling more aligned with you. Maybe they're fighting for your hometown with you, or you're getting kind of passionate about something together. And this is quite lovely. The entire month, there's a lot of focus on your home, family, and living situation. So you're maybe, like I said, meeting people at like going to more house parties, or you have friends coming to you, or you're having dates in your home. You're maybe spending more time with family, and like I said, also because Venus is here until May 23rd, you're more likely to encounter people that are like family friends or have similar backgrounds. A big deal happens later in the month. So on May 20th, this is a smaller deal. Venus will enter Gemini, your 5th house. Venus loves being in the 5th house. It's her house of joy because there are a lot of fun things to do, and Venus is up for it. She will be here until June 17th, but a big deal is Jupiter coming into your 5th house from May 25th until June 9th, 2025. Jupiter in the 5th is the most fertile Jupiter there is. So right away, if you are single and have no intention to get pregnant, or you're in a relationship and you don't want to have kids, just pay extra attention. Be careful. Do not do not take unnecessary risks. But if you are looking to get pregnant, this could be the time. This could be the time of a new romance, a new passion, a new baby, new beginnings. Last time Jupiter was in Gemini was between July 2012, mid-2012 until mid-2013. What was your life like at that point? Were you dating someone? Were you exploring new passions? Because it's really a good time for anyone in a relationship or anyone who's single trying to manifest a relationship. It's a good times. Let me know how this resonates, and if you want to know more, book a reading on my website, anastasiadoesastrology.com. You can also pick up a horoscope subscription on my website to get monthly insights written down, sent to you at the start of every month. If you are the beautiful Pisces rising, in April, there was a lot of focus on your goals, on your values, on your finances and desires, with Mercury being retrograde in your second house, the eclipse being in the second house. Maybe you've had to talk to your partner around, I keep saying around, maybe you had to talk to your partner about money, about resources, or you even wondered, do you have sort of enough to feel comfortable to go dating, right? Like, you don't always need to spend a ton of money while dating, but you maybe need to feel a little bit relaxed about having enough money to pay on a date or to even pay for yourself. So in May, that focus continues. I think you're still continuing to ask important questions about your resources, about your values, talking to your partner about it, talking about like your future together, your future goals together. Venus is in Taurus until May 23rd, and Taurus is your third house, and that could suggest, Venus being in the third house until May 23rd is quite nice for dating a neighbor or meeting someone in the local park, meeting someone in a local bar, in a local coffee shop. You feel like you desire to be out and about more. Mercury is also going to be in Taurus. Mercury rules your house of relationships, so it's your partner. They will be in the third house from May 15th until June 3rd, which is also suggestive that the partner is hanging out around you, right? Like, they can be your neighbor, they can be your sibling's friend, they can be a person who goes to the same coffee shop, the same grocery store, the same park, likes to watch the ducks like you do. If you're already in a relationship, this could be a sign of a better communication with your partner, maybe exploring new venues, maybe going out together, maybe hanging out with your siblings, maybe writing together, learning new things together. So May definitely brings exciting opportunities to connect on a deeper level. Venus will also shift into Gemini on May 23rd. Will stay in Gemini until June 17th, and this is your fourth house. Jupiter will also go into your fourth house. Jupiter rules you. Jupiter will enter your fourth house on May 25th and will stay until June 9th, 2025. So it's a full year of Jupiter in Gemini. But first with Venus, right? When Venus is in the fourth house from May 23rd until June 17th, in the fourth house, you are more attracted to people who are of the similar background as you, who share the same values. You're maybe more attracted to people from the same hometown as you. Or, yeah, like I said, someone who is like, maybe even looks similar to a parent of yours or is a family friend's child. So it's more likely for those single people to meet a partner through a family, through even a house party, right? Like fourth house represents home, family, real estate. So someone who's either similar to you from your hometown or someone you meet at a house party as like they're a guest, or they're throwing a party, or you're throwing a party and they're coming over. If you're in a relationship, you may notice that you're driven to spend more time with your partner at home. You're feeling more kind of like a homebody. You don't want to go out as much. Maybe you're still having romantic nights and exciting experiences, but you're more interested in like nesting and spending time with family. Maybe you're going to see their family or going to see your family. The big deal is, of course, Jupiter entering Gemini. So until May 25th, Jupiter, your ruler, is in Taurus, your third house, and you are finishing a year of growth. You've been learning a lot. You've been exploring different skills. You've been gaining knowledge, maybe taking more short trips. Your life has been kind of busier on many levels, I think. And on May 25th until June 9th, 2025, Jupiter will be in your fourth house for the first time since mid-2012 until mid-2013. And this brings really big new beginnings to your home, family, and living situation. So for single people, this could suggest that you're maybe moving and that your partner will be in a different location. You're moving and meeting someone, you know, in a different place. For those in relationship, you're maybe moving with your partner and starting a new kind of home together, starting a family together, right? Building your life together. And I also really like the fact that Mercury is going to be in Gemini, and Mercury will conjoin Jupiter on June 4th. So that to me is also another sign of important new beginnings and kind of you and the partner connecting. So you meeting somebody new, or you and the existing partner starting something new. Let me know how this resonates. I hope this video made sense. If you are looking for more, you're craving to talk to me about your chart, craving is a strong word, but if you're interested in learning more, book a reading on my website, anastasia.astrology.com. You can also pick up a horoscope subscription to receive monthly horoscopes sent to you at the start of every month, where I give you guidance, insights, and tips on maximizing the month to come. And this is it. This is my, I think, fourth love horoscope. I hope you guys are enjoying it. Please leave me a comment, encourage me to keep going, leave a like, subscribe if you haven't yet, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.